started. Obviously, I'm sure a lot of the questions are going to be for Callum, so I'm going to come to Ben Shalom first. Ben, first and foremost, just recapping the night, another great night in Barnsley. Had to add a few more chairs this time.
Yeah.
Just recap the night for us.
Oh, unbelievable. Look, I wasn't here last year, as Callum reminds me. But coming here tonight was special. I think there's something about this place, there's something about the connection between Callum and his fans. It feels like everyone knows him. It feels like he's doing it for everyone from this town, and he really made them proud tonight. It was an unbelievable spectacle. Obviously, Ivan Zucker played his part. We knew he was dangerous. 18 knockouts out of 21 wins is for a reason. And he called Callum a couple of times in a great fight, but in the end, Callum's quality came through, and I had no doubt about that. And those uppercuts and that finish was special. I mean, to be selling out a stadium for a European title, I have to say, I actually cannot remember someone. This is world title scenes, and he's doing it in his European title. I think it shows what a big future is to come. But this is it's an emotional night. I think Callum's been through a lot. His family has been through a lot. Seeing them come together, seeing them all be together as one, you could see the emotion on their faces. You could see the emotion on the fans' faces, and this is what British boxing is all about. I met Callum. He was still on the small ball scene, and he worked for everything he's got, and he just made his name tonight, and he's just created a star for himself. And very, very proud of him, and the team deserve a lot of credit as well.
I want to zoom out. I just have a question. When it comes to boxer, I mean, we've seen it now. Chris Smith in Bournemouth, Lauren Price in Cardiff, and now Callum's almost taken it to a different level here in Barnsley. There were so many people tonight that said, to me, you don't know what it's like for you guys to come here, to bring boxing here. Like, is it cool for you? Is it fulfilling for you as a company with Boxer to be able to go to different markets and pull crowds like this and work with people like Callum and his team?
Yeah, look, with Chris Smith, it was a similar sort of story, but he was already made a name for himself, and it snowballed there, and it was that small town mentality. But here it's even more special. It's there's something here that could go to another level that we've not seen before. It was emotional for him, as I say, but for us, coming to a place like Barnsley where they don't get this all the time. They don't have these sort of nights. And Callum to be bringing it here, this was his dream, and he's definitely put Barnsley on the map. He's given them something to be happy about. He's given them something to be proud of. I have to thank the council. I have to thank the football club. They're not used to these scale of events, and the team at Boxer have had to work extremely hard to make it possible, and to create a star from the grassroots now coming to fruition. It's definitely a proud moment for everyone involved at Boxer.
Callum, I'll come to you last. Kevin, question for you, question for the team. Just tonight, Callum ran into some adversity, right? He's leveling up with every fight that he's going to. What was the conversation in the corner? What were you saying to Callum? Did you even have to say much to Callum?
Knowing Callum Simpson, he probably did that on purpose just to put on a show. that's what he does. No, it was a strange one. We weren't overly sort of concerned, and it maybe did us a favour for the rest of the fight, because if that had happened later on in the fight, we had a really heavy knockdown, we had a problem. It might have just woke him up a little bit. We are privileged enough to do ring walk with him, and it's incredible to go through that crowd and get into the ring, that pressure, with everything that's with it, and then the build-up of all week as well. Jesus, I think that might have just done us, I'm sorry to say, Callum, might have just done us a little bit of a favour, because he did focus him and switched him on a little bit, so I was all right with that. What I don't want people to sort of forget is that Zuko, I think, is a world-class fighter. We knew he had incredible power if you look at his record. So what Callum's done tonight there as well, it wasn't sort of like, oh, Callum's had a flash knockdown. That guy's a world-class, murderous puncher. He can really bang. We weren't troubled. He looked at us in the corner, he looked us up, me and Mark in the eyes. We knew he was all right. We tweaked a few things and he came through. That's what he does.
Callum, I want to come to you. The whole week you were talking about proving people wrong and all the stories that you heard coming up. Oh, he can't do this, he can't win this, he can't sell this. And now tonight you capture another belt higher up on the tier list. Was it nice for you internally to prove people wrong, or are you just so self-driven it just wasn't even in your...
I don't know about proving people wrong. I've not heard too many bad things, to be fair. I don't know who said I can't do certain things, but yeah, I've not heard that. But
You were saying that all week. You were saying that people were down you about selling and bringing big fights to Barnsley.
People were saying on about we wouldn't fight at Oakwell, yeah. But I'm more bothered about proving myself right, my team right, my coach right, my family right, than proving people wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to open it up to the floor. Questions in the back?
Can everybody hear me all right? I hope I've got
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, we can repeat too.
brilliant. First of all, congratulations, Callum, on your
Thank
win.
you.
I did say I was going to come over to Barnsley. Should we fight Barnsley again? In Barnsley again, so congratulations to you on that one. I just want to talk a bit more about, over the last 12 months, from, your fight last time, here against, Zach Chelly until now against Zuko. What is it that you've learned about yourself over the last 12 months that has really brought you up to this point?
What I learned about myself, just how resilient I am, and overcoming adversity, and just my character and strength, yeah.
And I want to talk a bit more about, obviously, dealing with a person like Zuko. He sort of put you down in those, early rounds as well. How do you sort of get into that mode in terms of being able to sort of keep calm and to also, being able to keep calm enough to be able to execute, the game plan that you have, for that fight?
Yeah, like Kevin said, I got a bit of a flash knockdown, but I got up, looked at my team, let them know I were alright, and then just go back to work, shook it off, didn't panic, didn't get frustrated, just tried to be mature about it. My egos, I've not got a big ego to try and. We're always fighting fire with fire a little bit, I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, I knew I wasn't like badly hurt, and still my head were fine, my legs were fine, just had to get back to work and just keep pushing on. I weren't losing tonight. I'm too. I work too hard. I'm too driven. I've got that Yorkshire grit.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Right here in the middle.
First of all, Callum, congratulations.
Thank
Unbelievable fight, great win. There was a lovely moment after the fight, just the fans were still singing, just before they gave you the belt, you sort of turned around and were saying, like, it looked like you were saying, give me the belt, give me the belt. Just tell us how much did winning that European title in particular mean to you tonight?
It means everything. It's just it's another step up. I've done it the traditional way. Won the Essential Area title in Oldham. Won the British, the Commonwealth. Defended against mandatory, defending the Commonwealth, and then the next steps the European. And it's just about stepping up in levels. And like we said, Zuko's maybe as a world level fighter, European at least. This is what these, it's boxing. It's boxing. We're stepping up. There's gonna be no easy fights for me here and out, and I'm prepared. I think I'll show tonight. I've got that resilience. I've got that dog in me, and I can, if I'm dropped, I can get back up and keep fighting.
Nice one, thanks, Colin.
Cheers.
Right here in front.
In a strange sort of way, are those first sort of 3 rounds going to be some of the most valuable of your career going forward now?
Sorry?
Are they going to be some of the most valuable of your
Yeah, potentially, yeah. Some of the fight finished, my dad got in ring and said, you needed that. Cheers, Dad. I reckon I needed to get dropped. But yeah, definitely, I think, again, I'm stepping up in levels, and, I think when I fought Chelly last year, I feel like I showed that I can handle the pressure on the big crowd and still perform. Ticks a lot of boxes. The first 12 round championship fight, 12 round championship fight tonight, got dropped the first time in my career, come back, showed I can get through it, and I can just keep pushing and keep fighting and keep my head and keep my cool. And then got dropped in myself three times, and it's just another tick some more boxes, and it's just every day of the school day we're learning. Like I said, I'm nowhere near the finished article, but I want to be fighting for world titles next year, and we've got to overcome this kind of adversity together.
And can I just ask what the tweaks were that you made?
During the fight?
Yeah.
Do you want me to say? Well, I think it's, we'll hopefully Mark will start to get his flowers now, because he doesn't speak much, and he's just exactly who I was like as a team. He stays out of the limelight and doesn't get the credit he deserves. But we were letting Zuko rest too much, so the jab was occupying him and stopping him. It was also keeping. We were concerned about Callum squaring off. When he gets too eager, he goes against the ropes and he squares off, and that's when he was getting the knockdown. So we wanted Callum to get his shoulder into Zuko, push his shoulder in, and land the uppercuts. because then it keeps Callum more side on the uppercuts for doing the work. And one fantastic thing about Callum is, and you'll see it if you watch the fight back and you watch the corner, he's locked in on Mark in the corner, he's not looking around at the crowd, he's taking in the instructions and he goes out and does it. You know, not a lot of fighters do that, and that can be a real mistake. Callum will listen to the instruction, he goes out and carries it, and that's having trust in your team, and I really give him a lot of credit for that.
Yeah, I think what I'll say in terms of the adjustments is, I think the start, I think we were almost like, I think Zucker were fighting out of fear, and I believe I'm trained to, my conditioning is world level, I'm very fit, I know I can push all the 12 rounds, and I think I tried to wear him out by trying to fight him, but I realised halfway through I could tire him just by boxing, just that first half a round, just keep it long, box on the jab, and then when he slowed down, then the second half. I feel like I was winning pretty much every round other than the two that I got dropped in. But yeah, and obviously I'm trying to listen to my corner. Obviously I'm not perfect, I try to listen as much as I can, but sometimes, you know, I'm not perfect, but I do try.
Right here in front.
Hi Callum. Would you say that's your best win that you've had, not just because of obviously it's the European title, but because of what you went through in the fight?
Potentially. I don't know. I feel like it was probably an entertaining fight, but for me it was, even though I got dropped to the first round, like the crowd was still behind me. Like normally you get dropped and everyone's like, oh, I was going to lose this, but just the crowd never stopped chanting, never stopped cheering. I got dropped again, they were still chanting, cheering, getting behind me, and I was just like, yeah, these lot, like, you know, everyone says that fans are fickle, and which sometimes they can be, but yeah, they were amazing tonight.
Yeah, they probably got louder, didn't they? Once you
Yeah. That's it. I think the thing is, I was actually boxing well. I was actually boxing well. I was winning the rounds, but then I got dropped. But yeah, they were behind me massively. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
Right here.
Yeah, question for Ben. Ben, you said earlier in the week that Callum needed to be world class to beat Zucco. He's clearly proven that he's now at that level. Where are you going to take him next?
Look, last year we were here for the British and Commonwealth. We're here today for the European. It has to be a world title here next year. We do want him to fight in Sheffield, September, October. Headline the show there, keep it busy, but that's the goal now. I mean, as I said, I've never had a fighter that can sell out a stadium in a European title fight. It's almost ridiculous. So God knows what it would be like for a world title here. So that's the plan. As you said, you had to show he was world level. Zucco is better than European. If we could have chosen for a European title, we'd have never chosen Ivan Zucco. I certainly would have. 21 wins, 21 fights, 18 knockouts, doesn't know how to lose, Italian, comes forward, never gives up, showed his power tonight, but in the end, Callum was just too good.
Yeah, I can just say as well, I think a lot of people when they fight for a European, they might try and pick and choose who their opponents are, but Ivan Zucco made mandatory back in the last year or maybe the start of this year to fight Kevin Saggio, so he was the number one challenger, and then when Kevin Saggio vacated, they put me as the challenger as well, so they were number 1 and 2 fighting each other tonight. We didn't pick and choose an easy fight, we both put mandatory, and yeah, we took the hardest fight possible.
In the middle back.
Question for Callum. I think you said during the post-fight interview that in those tough moments when you got dropped, both times you were thinking about the memory of your late sister that helped you channel through to push into winning the fight. How are you able to process those feelings during the fight and focus on the task at hand when those sort of things are flooding through your head?
Yeah, I don't know what it was. There's been a few times in training where I've been doing like track sessions or like circuits, and I just hear a voice sometimes. I don't know why it just comes to me, but yeah, it came to me tonight as well.
Can I ask you what the voice says?
Keep going, keep pushing. Yeah.
We got time for one more. Callum's got to get some sleep. All right here in front.
I'm not be sleeping tonight, honestly. I never sleep. I never
I said
sleep.
Callum, I meant me.
Callum, you made history tonight being the first man from born in Barnsley to win the European title.
Yes.
How much does that mean to you and your team to have the support of your town and to do this here now tonight?
It means everything, mate. I'm so proud to be able to bring big fights, boxer, Sky Sports, European nights to Barnsley. Like I said, we did it for the British Commonwealth last year. We've done it for the European this year. I want to bring it for the world title next year. And it's just when I see like the videos and the photos of everyone around Barnsley, and again, it's not just Barnsley supporting me. I'm having friends coming over from Dubai, from Australia. Kevin's family's coming from Ireland. I've got people coming from Scotland, Wales, up and down the country coming to support me and get behind me. And yeah, I'm just so proud to bring these nights to Barnsley. It's it's unbelievable.
That's how you do the press conference. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time.